The podcast you're about to hear involves true stories, which may contain graphic content that is not suitable for children. Listener's discretion is advised. This is Esoteric Oddities.
Hi guys. Wow, that was almost in unison. We can harmonize
guys.
that.
I stopped because I didn't want to talk when you were talking.
Oh, but you do it anyway.
I sure do.
How are you guys doing? If you answered that question, congratulations, you're talking to nobody. And I also don't care. I'm totally just kidding. I hope you're having a great day.
Wow, you're feisty today.
I am feisty. I had gumbo. I'm feeling fiery. Literally, we might have to take a bathroom break.
Stop. Girls don't poop.
It's like, so I found an article that was published yesterday that I would like to read to you because
I love it.
I found it today. We pushed off our recording day, and I'm kind of glad we did because I can bring this glorious story to you. Are you ready for this headline?
I'm ready.
Man shoots himself in the penis while robbing a hot dog stand.
How does that work?
Oh, I'm about to tell you.
I love it.
All right, so a 19-year-old man shot himself in the penis after allegedly holding up a South Side hot dog stand Tuesday, which was November 2nd. And he won't be going home after released from the hospital.
Oh, where is he going? To jail?
To jail. So his last name is Pouncey. Pouncey's penis is no longer.
So you mean 19-year-old boy, not man, because, well.
Not so much. So Pouncey was arrested at the Oak Lawn Hospital not long after he was found slumped on the steps of a home across the street from a small hot dog stand, Chicago police say. So this is happening in Chicago. He robs them at gunpoint 6 a.m. on Halloween. He said, trick or treat. Bet y'all weren't. 6 a.m.?
6 a.m. That's
hot dog stand.
What hot dog stand is open? Who wants a hot dog at 6 in the morning? I do. You remember that one time?
I love how you answered your own question.
Where I think it was my birthday, and I was
mad. All you wanted to do was get a hot dog.
All I wanted was a hot dog.
We got it at the baseball game.
I was so mad. Yeah, and I dripped mustard all over myself.
And you were trying to get on the Jumbotron, yeah.
And no, you didn't want me on the Jumbotron.
You would have been so furious if you saw yourself the way I was seeing you. You fought a 12-year-old. I'm just going to leave it at that. I know we've discussed it before.
Don't ever take me out to the ball game.
But okay, so Pouncey was unable to okay, also I read this article and it's written like totally out of order. Like some
Pouncey probably wrote it about himself.
Pulp Fiction ass non-linear. It's an article, okay?
I was Mia Wallace for Halloween. Guys, I looked really good.
And if you'd like to see that, head over to our IG.
Yes.
So he had a .38 caliber pistol in his waistband, and he was trying to adjust it when he shot himself in the wing wong.
I could literally imagine the way that looks. Like he like had the trigger trying to adjust it, and he just like pulled back.
Apparently, he pointed it at the guys, and then they were giving him the money, and he was taking the money, and then put it in his pants, and blew off his little wee-wee.
Literally.
Not anymore. It's probably like mutilated. Like what's happening? Ooh.
I picture it like the Mondo burgers in Good Burger, how they exploded. That's what I picture it looked like.
That's so vivid. I love it. So I hope everybody had a great Halloween. This is our first podcast after Halloween, but I just want to say that I am cursed on Halloween, and I know Sarah can vouch for me because we've spent
every 6 Halloweens together, guys.
And all 6 well, we weren't together every Halloween because the one year was Hurricane Sandy, and I remember like literally cursed. Like it's usually relationships that I'm in, like something crazy happens. You can literally vouch for me that. We're not going to get into it, but like you know what I'm talking about.
I'm still stuck on the Sandy part. When was that?
Hurricane Sandy? I don't know. Back in the day. Google it. I don't know. But anyway, literally since high school on Halloween. Halloween's my favorite holiday. Love it. Love you lots, sis. Like this is Halloween. I'm all about that shit. But like for some reason, I just have the worst luck. And this year, the curse continued. Again, not going to get into it, but that we posted the podcast a day late, and it's official. I'm cursed on Halloween.
Bad. Remember that one Halloween you got really, really, really sick?
We're not going to talk about it.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm okay though. No, I am okay. It was pretty bad, but yeah, I'm okay. But it kind of correlates perfectly with today's topic that Sarah picked. No, I picked
You
it.
picked it.
I picked it and I cursed myself because today's topic is cursed objects. Ooh.
Ooh, sweet.
I think you have 3, right?
I have 2.
Okay, so you have 2, I have 3. Mine are kind of short, but
That's mine. We're kind of short too, but the one was fairly long, and I know we've been kind of running over a lot, so I shortened it.
It's fine now. Because we heard you guys like it long, so.
As you should. That's the only way to be.
Do you want to?
Long schlong. Yes.
Not for the man who shot himself in the penis.
Mondo Burger. It's just like, okay. So, guys.
What is your cursed object?
It is a wedding dress and a painting. I think a lot of these people probably heard of.
Okay.
I don't think they're very original.
I don't think I've heard of maybe the painting one, depending on which one, because I've heard of a couple.
It's the crying boy.
Oh yeah, I heard it. I was gonna do that one.
See?
Okay. Take me there.
So we're gonna start with the wedding dress. Anna Baker was part of a very wealthy family in Pennsylvania. Also,
we live there.
Disclaimer: this was in Albany.
Only?
Yeah, this story is based in. I lied. It's Allegheny.
Oh, that's not only at all. Allegheny. Okay.
Yeah. Anna Baker was part of a very wealthy family in Pennsylvania. Elias Baker, Anna's father, and her cousin Ronald Diller bought Allegheny Furnace in 1836.
Oh, we're throwing this way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
This gave the family a lot of money, especially after Elias bought Ronald's portion of the business in 1844. In 1845, the Baker family started building a new home, which was referred to as the Baker Mansion. It was completed in 1849, which is like modern day Kim K. Because I'm pretty sure it took that long to build her house.
Is her house built yet?
Yeah, it's been built.
How am I supposed to know? I don't watch TV.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I don't watch TV.
Don't watch me watch TV.
Keep your pennies.
I want change. Shortly after building the new home, the iron prices started dropping and the family could not keep up with the new home's expenses. The Bakers then filed for bankruptcy.
Yikes.
Right. Anna didn't care for the life of privilege as she was in love with a steelworker. Her father did not approve of her marrying a middle-class man. Because of this, he banned Anna from marrying the love of her life.
Oh my god, this is like the Titanic, except they're not on a boat.
Yeah, they're in a mansion that they can't afford. Same thing. She said that if she couldn't marry the love of her life, then she was not marrying anyone.
That's the way to do it, Anna. Put your foot down, girl.
At the time, Anna had already bought her wedding dress. Dun dun dun.
I heard it's cursed.
Anna kept her word and lived out her life in the family mansion, even after the death of her father. Witnesses say to have seen Anna dancing around with the dress.
Wait, what?
So, servants in the house, they said that they would see her.
Oh, so she would put it on.
Yeah.
And frolic about.
Yeah.
Frolic a boot. Sorry about that. I don't know.
Sorry.
My inner Canadian came out,
Anna passed in 1914, leaving behind anger and her wedding dress. The Baker Mansion was soon turned into a museum, and the wedding dress was put on display. Visitors had claimed to see Anna's face in the glass.
No.
In the glass display case holding the wedding dress.
Oh.
The dress would also sway back and forth, telling the sad story of love lost. But unfortunately, the Baker Mansion no longer displays the haunted wedding dress due to deterioration caused by exposure to sunlight.
Is that why I'm slowly dying? Because I'm out here exposing myself to the sunlight. I'm just slowly deteriorating, and so is my life.
Oh, that's nice because I literally work too much. I can't go outside.
Love it.
Is this what being an adult is? I want to get off.
Don't we all?
Next one.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah.
Spooky. So it's haunted. It wasn't super cursed. I was expecting someone to put on the dress and their head come off.
I wish. It's
I wish someone's head would come off. Jesus, I need a good story to tell.
That one was more of a haunting, but the crying boy is literally more of a curse.
Yes, I kind of know about it. I've seen what it looks like, but I didn't really read into it.
Well, I didn't know this, but there were multiple paintings of children. Like, it wasn't just this one boy. It would be like multiple.
Different paintings?
Yeah.
And they were all cursed?
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
no.
I'm saying. So, the crying boy was a popular painting in the 1950s done by Giovanni Bregolin. These paintings were that of teary-eyed children. There were about 5,000 paintings sold in the UK alone.
Was he okay? Are you gonna? Did he?
No, because you were literally painting crying children. It's weird. The children represented were often poor and very beautiful. One boy's image particularly catches attention because of his eyes and sad reflection of his soul.
Ooh.
He became known as the crying boy. In total,
How original.
Right.
Who came up with that?
It's the crying boy.
Could have named him like something like Crying Christopher.
Right, something. Crying Christoph.
That was okay.
I know. The same thing. Okay. In total, Giovanni painted over 60 paintings, and up until the early 80s, the prints and reprints of his images continued to be mass-produced. In 1985, the most popular tabloid newspaper in the UK printed a story that was to cause panic and end the popularity of Bregolin's work. The Sun published an article entitled Blazing Curse of the Crying Boy. Sorry, that was really funny. The story described was a terrible experience of May and Ron Hall after their Rotherham home was destroyed by fire. The cause of the fire was a chip pan that overheated and burst into flames.
What's a chip pan?
I guess back then.
Like a chimpanzee?
Yeah.
Is it like a pan with like chips in it? You don't have to have the answers. I'm just asking in general.
I think back then they made their own chips, maybe.
Oh yeah, they didn't have store-bought chips. What was this, the 80s?
I don't know. You never know. I don't know.
Store-bought chips didn't come around until the 2000s. Everybody knows that.
Fuck you. I'm not sorry. Sorry, Mom. Only one item remained intact. A print of the crying boy on their living room wall. The couple made a bizarre claim that the painting was cursed and not the chip pan.
I mean, if the whole house burnt down and it was only the painting, I'd be like, well, I don't want that painting. That's weird.
I'm saying. So.
But the chip pan wasn't haunted. It was just faulty.
That's what they said. I was just like, these people, like.
Hang on. I'm going to Google what a chip pan is really quick.
Okay, please do.
Okay.
And then drop the picture below.
Stop telling people I'm going to do that because I'm not going to do that. Oh my God. Wait. Okay. I looked up chip pan and it's literally a pan on fire. A chip pan is a deep-seated cooking pan used for deep frying. They're named for their traditional use of frying chips. We weren't off. They're French fries. French fries in the USA. They're French fries.
You tried to play me and say, they didn't have baked chips back then.
It says today they're either made from aluminum or stainless steel, but literally the picture that's coming up is it on fire. I'm going to click images and see if anybody's had like a good experience with these.
Click the rating.
Oh, it's just like it's a pan that fits like it's like oh my God. Yo, there's so many pictures of these on fire. Y'all don't use chip pans.
Yeah, ever.
It's basically just like a makeshift deep fryer. Oh my God, do you remember we used to deep fry Oreos?
Who?
Freshman year, yes, we did. You, me, Anya, and Flora, we literally deep fried them and we would make so many and we would eat one and feel sick. We did it for a whole week because
why did we do that?
I don't know, because we found out how cheap and easy it was. We got pancake mix,
no wonder I was so
Oreos,
fat.
And we would just deep fry them and watch movies.
Sounds like our life right now.
Hey.
Minus the deep fried Oreos. Now it's replaced with gumbo.
Seriously. Y'all, I hate to like blow wind up my own ass. Well, I do, but like I make some good gumbo.
No, you blow it out.
Oh, is that what the saying is? You just described a fart.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
that's all you do. And it's blow smoke out my ass. I think it is.
Whatever. Yeah, right.
Get a clue.
Get
What is
real.
it? Get real. Oh, that's funny. Where was I?
Japan.
Yes, chimpanzee. A firefighter claimed that he had attended at least 15 house fires where everything was destroyed. The only thing left complete in each home was a picture of the crying boy.
What? Wait, so this thing was like spewing out fires anywhere it went?
Yeah, I guess it like caused fires, but
Wait, is this okay? Hold on. Are we talking about the same painting?
Yeah.
So what? So the fire burned down. I was distracted by the chip pan. Rewind for a second. So the fire burns down the house, but not the painting.
the painting doesn't burn.
Okay, so then what do they do with the painting?
I guess they give it away because they're probably like, "What the fuck? Why didn't this burn? This must be
So they're
witches."
witches. So they give it away.
Yeah, or they try to destroy it.
Oh no, it can't be destroyed.
Right.
So they give it to the local Christian rubbish sale.
I'm saying. So every fire that was caused in the United Kingdom, if they had the painting, it was blamed on the painting.
Wait, say this again.
So every fire that was in the UK, that if they had the painting, the fire was.
Oh, was it a copy of the painting? I'm assuming. I'm confused.
He painted a lot of other children crying, but this one specific painting of the boy that multiple people had because they kept.
So they had prints of it. So
they had prints of the boy. I mean, there were other crying children,
Okay,
but
they
this
had.
one was really popular.
Ooh, I don't know why. Okay, if you have this hanging in your house right now,
They
no
said
offense.
that you could like see how sad his soul was. Which
Why do you want that
really
hanging on your
creepy.
wall?
I'm saying.
People are like, you know what would look good in my
crying
living room?
child.
A child who's poor and who won't ever have shoes that fit him right. Like shit.
So he's crying about it.
It's a conversation starter, I guess, if you want to get into politics when your company comes over. But like, shit, I don't want to watch. I don't want to look at that when I'm eating my damn toaster strudel in the morning. And I don't think my dad, the inventor of the toaster strudel, would appreciate it either.
I'm dead.
I can see it in your eyes, like that child who's crying.
In your soul.
Jesus.
So, this is all of the fires that the Sun, the article, the newspaper article, this is everything that they researched. So, a lady in Surrey, is it Surrey? Surrey. Surrey lost her house to fire 6 months after buying the painting. 2 sisters in Kilburn had fires in their house after burning a copy of the painting.
Literally, they lived in a place called Kilburn.
Literally. One sister even claimed to have seen her painting sway backwards and forwards on the wall. A concerned lady on the Isle of Wight attempted to burn her painting without success and then went on to suffer a run of bad luck.
So what happens if you just like throw it out? Or what happens if you like put it somewhere?
Someone's going to take it and then it just starts the cycle again.
On someone else?
Loves this paint.
I'm sorry, but like Caramel's a bitch.
Karma's going to come 3 times worse to you because you just gave someone else's painting.
I'm not giving it away. I'll leave it on the side of the road.
But you know that it's hexed.
I'll leave it in a dumpster. I'll leave it at a McDonald's
Why
booth.
do people just like slash it?
Right? Well, then what if they got slashed the same way? That's some Freddy Krueger shit.
That's good news.
Like if they're sleeping, can you imagine that? I bet you that's going to happen. That's not a fact, but I'm going to put it on the Wikipedia page.
A gentleman in Nottingham lost his home and family were injured. A pizza parlor in Norfolk was destroyed, including every painting on its wall except for one. Can you guess what the painting was?
Was it the Mona Lisa?
No, it was a picture of a pizza.
Oh. They didn't actually have the painting. We just wanted to bring that story up.
Oh my god, stop it. In all these cases, the painting of the crying boy remained unharmed. Eventually, there was an image of a crying child by any artist in the house that went on fire. The painting was blamed. Some claim that they experienced bad luck if they attempted to destroy or get rid of their painting.
Yeah, okay, that answered my question. Copy that.
Others were convinced that it was only a matter of time before disaster struck them. After printing more articles and scare stories, the Sun offered a frightened public solution. On Halloween 1985, hundreds of paintings were collected together by the newspaper and burnt under the supervision of the fire brigade.
Damn. They were like, all right, bring out your paintings. We're going to have a bonfire. Do you think if you roasted marshmallows, the marshmallows would be haunted?
Yes. It would haunt your insides.
Haunted fucking marshmallows.
It would burn your insides.
Marshmallows.
Speaking of burnt insides, can we talk about Stranger Things 2? That was amazing. I'm not going to spoil.
I didn't finish yet.
I need you to finish.
Okay, I will.
So some theories are the little boy is a gypsy child whose family placed a curse on the artist. Some people claim the child had died in a fire and his spirit was trapped in the painting. Some people are saying the crying boy accidentally set fire to the studio of the artist who had painted him. The children's parents also were killed in a fire. And then he got nicknamed the Devil or Diablo.
The little boy?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Apparently he survived to early childhood but was drastically killed when his car crashed and burned into flames.
Wait, is that true? Was it actually
No, that's
a kid?
like a...
Oh, it's a mystery.
Right, basically. It's just like...
It's an old
it's a
wives'
theory.
tale. Okay.
And that's what I got.
That's creepy.
I think it's kissed.
I think it's kissed.
It's kissed.
I wonder if like someone's listening to this and they're like, shit, but it sounds a lot like a painting my grandma has.
Oh my god, right? I don't know. It's all the way in the UK, so...
Our listeners can live in the UK.
Oh, that's true.
I think we do have listeners in the UK.
Guys, if you have a crying boy painting, get it out of your house.
If you have a chip pan, don't
Get
throw
it
it
out
out
of your
yet.
house.
No, deep fry some Oreos first under strict supervision and maybe a fire extinguisher, and then throw it out. But if you haven't had a deep fried Oreo, that would be good. That sounds really good. But that was a good story. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for thanking me.
I feel enlightened.
I feel great.
All right, so I've got 3 fun little cursed items. Well, they're fun for us, but not so much for the people. The victims, I should say. Okay, so are you ready for this first curse?
Victim.
So this is the curse of the Atuk script, A-T-U-K.
Atuk.
So, stories surrounding cursed Hollywood films have been floating around for decades, some more true than others. The Poltergeist, The Omen, The Exorcist, Rosemary's Baby, and the list goes on. I'm sure you've heard of some of these that are surrounded with curses, especially like, what was it, The Omen? Like, people are like, ooh, like it's about devil shit and, it's cursed. So it's like super, super interesting, right? So most
Are
of the
omens always surrounded by like bad things?
omens are like bad things.
Oh. I'm a murder mystery podcast host.
So yeah, again, so most of these films are involving dark topics, hauntings, witchcraft, but unlike them, Atuk is not. So this unproduced screenplay has been floating around Hollywood since the early 70s, and it's the comedic story of a fish out of water Eskimo living in New York City. The screenplay was adapted from Mordecai Reichler's 1963 novel, The Incomparable Atuk, when producer Norman Jewison purchased the rights of the book in 1971. Shortly after, screenwriter Todd Carroll created a final draft which was ready for the next step, but to this day has yet been filmed. And I'm going to tell you why. So according to some theories, the script kills any actor that expresses interest in the lead role.
Ooh.
Carroll, the screenwriter, waved off any talk of the curse, of course, because, you don't want to be that man who wrote the cursed script.
Yeah, I wrote this and it's cursed. Come at me. Like, who would say that? No one.
But the creepy coincidences surrounding Atuk has been compelling enough for people to take interest. So it's become one of the most infamous unproduced screenplays in Hollywood history, with real-life tragic deaths involved. So while the story was being adapted for the screen, Carroll wrote it with just one character in mind, comedian John Belushi. So allegedly, Belushi was excited for the role after reading the script. He was officially cast for the role of Atuk, and production was ready to be set for filming in Canada in late 1982, but the movie star would never make it to set because only a few months prior to the first day of filming, on March 5th, 1982, Belushi's personal trainer knocked on the door of Bungalow 3 at the Chateau Marmont Hotel in Hollywood to find him dead. His death was initially ruled an accidental drug overdose, though his friend and drug dealer, Kathy Evelyn Smith, was eventually charged with manslaughter.
Damn.
So the production halted and producers struggled to find somebody to fit the role for almost 5 years. Then, in February of 1988, in Toronto, production resumed with comedian Sam Kinison as the lead role of Atuk. Kinison's manager promised the comedian that he would have full creative control without actually clearing that information with the studio. So when Kinison attempted to rewrite the script, his manager said that the studio was going to try to accommodate him, but they weren't going to guarantee that he would have full control like he was originally told he would.
AKA he lied.
Basically. But Kinison grew difficult when it wasn't going his way, and he caused the production to halt after just 8 days of filming. Eventually, Kinison dropped out of the production and fired his manager. The studio, United Artists, then filed a lawsuit against Kinison, which they stated that Kinison threatened to intentionally give a bad performance if he could not change the script the way that he wanted. Then Kinison, who was a known alcoholic, was killed in a head-on collision on California's U.S. Route 95. But the irony is that Kinison was sober, but the 17-year-old who hit him wasn't. Kinison was thrown through the windshield, but according to a witness on the scene, he didn't seem injured immediately after the crash. The witness told police that he was sitting up and calmly talking to someone who wasn't there. Quote, "I don't want to die. I don't want to die," Kinison reportedly said. Then he paused as if listening for a response, and he said, "Okay," several times before closing his eyes, and he lay down and died.
It's the kiss.
All right, so the year is now 1994. The producer Chuck Rovin attempted to find a new actor to fill the role of Atuk. He approached John Candy with the script and offered him the role. Candy and his friend Michael O'Donoghue, who was a head writer for Saturday Night Live and a major contributor in National Lampoon magazine. So the two of them read over the script together. Candy eventually expressed great interest but never confirmed the role. So sometime after midnight on March 4th, 1994, Candy was found dead and from a presumed heart attack, though it was never proven because for some reason no autopsy was performed. A few months later...
Sketchy. That's what it is, sketchy. Also, I want to know why... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I want to know why... the year's like 1994 and I've never heard of this. Like, even though I was just only 2, it's like these things aren't ever released.
Well, because the film was never made.
Oh. Well, you would think that they would have like a report on it in the newspaper.
They did. It's like infamous in Hollywood. I know, but I didn't hear about it either, and I went to film school. So get this. A few months later, after John Candy died... Michael O'Donoghue, who read it with him on November 8th, 1994, he died unexpectedly of cerebral hemorrhaging.
So not cerebral palsy.
No, that's correct.
What's the difference?
Oh my God, we're not going to Google it. They are not the same thing at all. So at this time, it was buzz around Hollywood that this film was cursed and it would end the life of any actor who would read for the role. However, one actor did not believe in such superstition. That actor was Chris Farley, who was next offered the role of Atuk. After reading the script with a good friend and fellow comedian Phil Hartman, Farley was unfazed by the, quote, rumors of a curse. Instead, he was vocal about his excitement for the script. He was ready for the role, but like the others, you see where I'm going. On December 18th, 1997, Chris Farley was found dead by his younger brother, John, in his room at the Drake Hotel in Chicago. His autopsy revealed that Farley had died of an overdose of cocaine and morphine. 5 months later, Phil Hartman was murdered by his wife. his friend who read the script with him.
Oh my God, stop. He played in so many movies.
Who?
Chris Farley.
Did you not know who he was?
I did, and I just can't believe that he's tied into the story.
Yeah.
I'm like, shook.
Hold on. Are you ready? Because it gets weird. Okay, so, but 3 of these 6 victims have more in common than you think. Chris Farley, John Candy, and John Belushi were also considered for the role of Ignatius J. Riley in which was the main character in A Confederacy of Dunces. So John Kennedy Toole, who wrote the original Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, which the screenplay was based off of, he had committed suicide before the book was even published. Then 11 years later, Toole's mother, with the help of another writer, had got the novel published. So this book is already not off to a great start. But again, it was like a comedic book. It wasn't anything, about anything ominous.
Right.
So the script followed a central character, which was Ignatius. Okay. So he was an educated 30-year-old man who was living with his mother in an uptown neighborhood in New Orleans, and he was set on a quest for employment. That's basically the overlying plot. You can look it up more if you want to, or you can read the book, or maybe not if you don't want to get cursed.
Don't read. Don't
because
do anything.
The 3 of them had read for it. And in 1982, Harold Ramis was to write and direct an adaptation starring John Belushi and Richard Pryor. But Belushi's death obviously prevented this. Later, John Candy and Chris Farley were scouted for the lead, but both of them, well, you know what happened to them.
So if I read the script,
We'll get there.
Okay.
So director John Waters, hey, a favorite. He was interested in directing an adaptation casting Harris Glenn Milstead, better known as his drag queen persona, Divine, as Ignatius. Divine was then found in a hotel dead at the age of 42 before the production began.
Yikes.
A version of the script was then adapted by Steven Soderbergh and was scheduled for release in 2005 with Will Ferrell as the star. Then the head of the Film Commission of Louisiana, who was helping them square away the location scouting and paperwork they needed to film in Louisiana, was murdered by her husband.
See?
The film had already been surrounded with bad luck, and which caused, a lack of interest from Paramount Pictures. And in the case of It Took, the script remains on the shelf. And in a 2013 interview with Steven Soderbergh, he was questioned about the unmade project, and he stated, quote, "I think it's cursed. I'm not prone to superstition, but that project has got some bad mojo on it." End quote. As for the script of It Took, it's still out there. United Artists retain the rights to this day. And every page has been scanned, meaning you can read it for yourself.
No.
Note that we will not be linking the script anywhere, so if you do decide to look it up, we take no responsibility for what darkness it brings into your life.
So, aka that's Jonathan's nice way to tell you, don't read the script.
I accidentally clicked on it and clicked right off because I'm not reading it. Can you send me the link? No. Look it up for yourself. I want no part of it. I already got enough bad juju going on over here.
Okay.
So what do you think?
I'm going to look it up and I'm going to read the script. And I'm just going to...
What do you think?
I think it's all a bunch of hocus pocus. No, I'm just kidding. I just really wanted to say that.
It's crazy.
No, I'm really going to read the script and I'm really going to find out what happens next. If you
all
guys...
right. So, I'm posting on Craigslist now. I'm looking for a new podcast host.
I was going to say that if you guys don't hear from me in a week...
Go ahead and email us at odditiespodcast@gmail.com.
If you don't hear from me, don't read the script. How about that? Let's no one read the script until I return.
I think it's interesting. Even if it's not cursed, that's...
No,
so many strange things happened like around
that.
it.
I don't think it could be ironic like 6 times.
Yeah, well, it's weird.
Like
I don't want to read it at all.
Yeah,
I have
you shouldn't. I mean, I have really bad luck with my life, so maybe I shouldn't either.
Yeah, I'm just saying, what are you going to get out of it? You didn't know the script existed 20 minutes ago. Girl, you better stop it. Are you ready for my next story, bitches? This is The Cursed Stoop Chair of Thomas Busby.
Stoop kids afraid to leave the stoop.
So, In the late 17th century, a man named Daniel Awet, Awet?
Ow.
A-W-E-T,
It.
Awet,
Maybe
Awet
it's
Towlet.
Awet Talet? Maybe it's Owet?
All right, I'm just going to call him Daniel.
Okay.
He moved to a small town of Kirkby Wisk in North Yorkshire, England.
That's where you went wrong. Small town.
It was a quiet location for Daniel to live as a crook by printing counterfeit money in secrecy.
Ooh, Daniel was a criminal.
That's kind of hot.
Sure is.
So he purchased an old farm, which he then named Donity Hall,
Oh, that's nice.
and built a large hidden underground room and installed a massive locking mechanism to ensure unexpected visitors would not catch him printing that shmoney. So Daniel had a daughter named Elizabeth, who eventually caught the eye of a local man named Thomas Busby, who fell in love with her instantly. And the two were married, which Daniel did not really approve of, but he attempted to support his daughter with the love. And over a few months, Daniel did warm up to Thomas, and soon he and Busby became partners in the counterfeiting game. Oh, little
He's
father-son
like, you can
time.
print out fake bills with my daddy.
And he's like, well, okay,
Okay.
bitch.
Okay. That fake money. Okay.
But this proved to be a very rough relationship, as Busby was a terrible drunk.
Oh, there's always a but involved.
Busby and Elizabeth took up lodgings in a local inn a little ways down the road from Donity Hall. So, for an unknown reason, possibly because of Busby's alcoholic lifestyle, Daniel came to the inn while Busby was out, and he attempted to bring his daughter home away from Busby for good. So she refused to go until Busby got home and they could talk things through with him. So they waited at the inn until Busby arrived. He was extremely drunk when he did arrive, and the two men broke out in a massive argument. So Daniel did not want his daughter to be married or even associated with a drunk like him, but the drunken Busby was arguing about something else altogether. He said, "Screw you, Elizabeth. I don't care about you. That's not what I'm yelling about. I'm drunk and I'm yelling because Daniel was sitting in Busby's favorite chair."
Oh my God, petty mayonnaise.
Petty mayonnaise. And it's they're in England, so favorite, it's spelled with a U.
Petty wise.
Favourite, because England, they do it cute. They do that with the word color too. Color.
Oh, that's where that came from. I always wondered which one's which.
Same with gray. I think they do it with an E. We do it with an A. They're like, oh, gray. That wasn't an
Stop.
English
I spell
accent
it with
at all.
an E.
No, you don't, girl. Where are your roots from?
Grey, gray.
Gray. Gray. Not gree.
Stop. I think I spell it with an E.
How do you spell gravy?
A.
Mm-hmm.
I don't spell gray with an A. I spell it with an E.
I guess it's right either way.
Stop. Uh-oh.
But if you spell John with an H, you're wrong. So
I don't ever call you John.
Sometime during the argument, Daniel left and went back to his home at good old Donity Hall without his daughter. Later that night, Busby drunkenly made the 3-mile walk to the hall where he bludgeoned Daniel to death with a hammer because he sat in his goddamn chair.
Like, come on.
Daniel's body was found in the woods close to his home, and it didn't take long for local police.
He ditched that shit.
It didn't take long for local police to link Thomas Busby to the crime. A quick trial in 1702 found Busby guilty as charged and sentenced to death by hanging. He was granted a final request, and Busby chose to have a final drink where he was seated comfortably in his favorite chair. From the chair, for some reason, Busby stated that, quote, "Death shall come swiftly to anyone who dares sit in my chair," end quote. He was then taken to the gallows and hanged.
Was he a warlock?
He was not. But even after death, Busby kept his word. You want to hear about these victims?
Yeah.
So the first recorded victim of this apparent curse was an unnamed chimney sweep. Well, I'm sure he had a name, but we don't know it. So we're just going to call him Sweepy.
Sweepy.
So he had no other option but to use Busby's chair. He could have sat on the ground.
Sit on
Just
the ground.
sprawl out.
You gotta know this chair's bad news bears.
Bad news bears. Well, this was the first, so nothing had happened yet.
Oh, okay.
And if someone died and they were like, that's my favorite chair, and they were super drunk, and if the chair looked comfy, you bet your ass that my ass is going to be in that chair.
Right. I'm drunk. I'm sitting down.
I'm hanging out. My name is Sweepy. How are you? It was the first time in decades that it had been used, so it was assumed by researchers that the man was unaware of the curse. Although talk of the cursed chair had actually brought curious customers to the inn. That's where the chair was still at the inn. But until this time, no one had actually sat in it. So several minutes after finishing his break, he returned to work, and Sweepy fell off the roof to his death. Busby's stoop had claimed the first of many victims.
Yikes.
So over the course of the next couple of centuries, people were dared to take a chance and use the chair, and not surprisingly, many refused. I know I wouldn't. Sorry, I'm not. I don't. I will not sit. If anything's cursed, why?
Right.
Why would I want to do it?
Same reason why I want to read the script.
Why?
Because I want to figure out if it's
It's because you're curious. Curiosity killed the cat.
Sure did, but something brought it back. I don't know what that thing is.
What brought the cat back?
Yeah, so the saying goes, curiosity killed the cat, and I don't know, something brought it back. I'm going to look it up.
Okay. So during World War II, however, numerous Air Force officers bravely accepted the challenge when they were put to it. But few failed to notice that all who did sit in the chair never returned home from the conflict. Ooh, spooky. Sometime in 1967, a pair of RAF pilots took on the chair and lost when their car was hit by a tree. Well, their car hit the tree. The tree didn't jump out, but they died. Whoa, spooky.
Spooky.
The landlord decided that enough was enough and the chair was to be removed from public display.
Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back.
What was it satisfied with?
It was satisfied with learning whatever the fuck it was curious about.
But it died.
Okay, but satisfaction is obviously like a healing thing, and it brought it back. That would be the logical explanation for all of this.
Absolutely, it is so logical. You're so right. What am I thinking? Jesus. The landlord put that shit in the basement, and as good as the chair was for business, bringing in curious people, because curiosity killed the people, but I guess they were satisfied and they didn't come back. I hate to tell you, Sarah, but people came from miles around, and it was only prudent that no other lives should be put at risk. So the chair was taken down to the basement where it remained for several years. But even hiding it in a basement could not stop the curse from taking its toll. A bricklayer who was contracted to work on the pub decided to rest in the chair when he saw it in the basement. He said, "There's a chair. I want my butt in that thing so bad." And I'm sure you saw it coming. That chair that he sat in was Busby's favorite chair. That's favorite with a U.
Stop.
And that very
That
very afternoon, he fell to his death. And it would appear that nobody could use the chair and survive.
It only took 500 people.
Right? Wait, another roofer. He took a seat and he went back to work, and the roof collapsed beneath him. So he was on top of the roof, and the roof actually caved in. A cleaning woman lost her footing and stumbled into the chair, then later suffered an aneurysm and died.
Now it captures people in the chair too.
Yeah, it's like
Literally.
A Venetian flytrap.
It's like a
Vietnamese.
It's like a magnet.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
It literally got stronger. That's what happened. It collected the souls of the people it killed, and now it
was like, you come to me.
Direct people there.
A delivery man who crashed his... A delivery driver who crashed his delivery van between deliveries within an hour... Okay, wait, let me start that sentence over. A delivery driver crashed his van between deliveries after an hour of sitting in the chair. My question is, who was this delivery man and why was he in the basement sitting in this chair?
I feel like that's what people should be asking.
I feel like some of these I'm really questioning, but it's a story. And I'm going to go with it. It's got to be a fact. It's on the internet. It's a fact.
Facts. I hate when people say that.
Our sources are linked. If you don't believe us, the internet doesn't lie.
Internets.
So that was the final straw for the landlord. He was like, that's it. So many people have died from the fucking chair and I need to fucking get rid of it. So he got in touch with a museum, a local museum, and he asked if they would take the chair. He was like, y'all, this chair, listen, it's real comfortable. It would look really good in your museum and you should really take it.
I hope they put it in a glass case.
Okay, hold on. So museum staff agreed and carefully arranged to transport the chair under tight security. So the chair is still on public display at the museum if you want to go see it.
Can
it's a
you
real
sit in
thing.
it?
No.
Okay.
So museum staff are forbidden from touching it just in case, and it is actually hanging on the wall. It's 6 feet off the floor.
Oh, that's
and it's
good.
kind of up in like a corner. You can go look at pictures of it. It's just a normal ass wooden chair. It doesn't look that comfortable. Honestly, I wouldn't sit in it because so yeah, you can go and visit the cursed chair that for some reason drove a man to kill another man with a hammer because he was sitting in it.
Don't sit in my chair.
You know, when you sit in a couch and like you get your ass groove, like that's your spot. That's where you sit. That little dip in it comes from you. Like that's your
Stop.
anus.
Why did anybody care for this chair? Why did anyone care for
Are you
this?
looking at a picture of it?
Yes,
It's a
and I'm
plain Jane chair.
Pissed because I thought it was like, I don't know. I thought it just looked nice. I thought it had a nice cushion.
Don't
No,
talk shit on it. It can probably hear you.
that's how I feel about it. I just flipped off this chair because, guys, once you see this, you're gonna be like, what? Why did anyone want to sit in this?
It's
I'd be
just
like,
a chair on the wall. People wanted to sit in it because they were curious.
what did they say? It's just a silly chair.
They didn't say that.
No, I was quoting something else, but
Well, I think you just quoted yourself.
probably. I'm famous.
At what place did somebody say it's just a silly chair? Go on like inspirationalquotes.com and it's like it's just a silly chair. Dash like Marilyn
No, it's
Monroe.
just like, it's just a silly something. I don't know. Whatever. I've been up since 5 a.m.
I've been up
so-
since 3, so I feel you.
Yeah, we're just a whole bunch of blabby, tired people.
Okay, so that's the chair, the cursed ass chair. Now this is my last one, and this is a cursed phone number. And this is coming directly from an article published.
Oh, is it mine?
This is coming from The Mysterious Universe, which was written by Brent Swanser. So hey, okay, so in the early 2000s, this is recent. In the early 2000s, a Bulgarian mobile phone company called Mobitel issued the number 359-0888-888-888. So, although it's certainly easy to remember and a tad unusual, there is nothing on the face of it that would, seem sinister or evil about this phone number. In fact, the number 8 is actually considered quite lucky in a lot of countries such as China, where companies would pay big money just to have as many 8s as possible.
888 888
888. Like if someone asks for your number and you give it to them, they're like, come on, like, dude,
just
I'm
feel
trying
like-
to take you out on a date. You don't have to be a dick. And you're like, nah, for real.
I just make 8 times 8.
Oh, you could put it in a riddle. Okay, anyway. So, however, the tale of Mobitel's all 8 phone number is not one of luck, but rather one of death. So, I lost my place. Oh God, it's the curse.
It's coming.
So the first person to own the ominous phone number was actually the CEO of the company himself, Vladimir Grashnov. So within less than a year of acquiring the number, the relatively young man, who was 48 years old at the time, was quickly ravaged by a highly aggressive form of cancer and died in 2001.
Stop. I thought you were going to say like an animal or something.
No. So it was curious since he was in pretty much good health before the turn of the millennium. And this ultimately led to rumors that the cancer was, the origin came from, hi, how are you?
I'm
Basically,
smart.
they thought nothing of the phone number. They thought that he was assassinated by like another company who
Right.
was in competition with them. And then this article kind of talks about how that was actually like in a different case. There was a man who actually died like in a very similar way, and it was because he was assassinated in a really sketchy way by the other company. But the odd thing was that he was known for his honest business practices. You know, he didn't really have any enemies, or so you would think. And at the time, no one really made any connection from his death to the phone number. But this would change with the next two people who would have this phone number. So the next person to own this phone number in the wake of the first death was a Bulgarian crime boss by the name of literally unpronounceable holy shit.
Try it. I'm rooting for you. You can do it.
Konstantin Dimitrov.
Constantine.
It's not. We're going to call him Connie. So in 2003, the 31-year-old was reportedly in the Netherlands on business to inspect his flourishing drug smuggling operation. And he traveled along with his fashion model girlfriend. She doesn't have a name, but we're going to call her
Sally.
Sally, love it. So Connie and Sally. As the two were having a luxurious dinner at an upscale restaurant in Amsterdam, a lone gunman approached them at night and basically shot and killed him. And it was reported, and this was the guy who had the phone number.
So you can't run.
You can't run from the phone number.
From the curse.
Connie had the phone number. So it was reported that Connie had the cursed phone in his hand when he was gunned down, perhaps having been in the midst of a call or a text message. Although the official motive was the revival Although the official motive was drug related, it was a lot of sketchy stuff going on. So. But he wasn't lucky. And the seemingly very unlucky phone number found its way to the next owner, a real estate agent named... Oh, he had the same first name as that guy.
Stop.
Another Connie. But his last name is, again... I'm not going to insult anybody. I'm just not going to say the last name. But this is a different Connie. This is Connie number 2. I love how I say I'm not going to insult him and this man's dead and I'm calling him Connie number 2.
Connie number 2, yeah. I was going to say that, but...
So in this case, it appears that Connie number 2 was living a double life. He wanted it all.
Double toil and trouble.
I'm saying straight up Hannah Montana ass. He's like, here, would you like to sell? Would you like to buy this house? No. Would you like to buy these drugs? No. Okay. So he was in an Indian restaurant in the Bulgarian capital of Sofia, and he was gunned down right then and there on the street outside of the restaurant. It says he was sitting... Oh, he was leaving the restaurant. That's what it was. His stomach was full. He was like, fuck, that was some good Indian shit. And he was gunned down by multiple fatal gunshot wounds, which left him lying in a pool of blood. Although a police investigation ruled it as an assassination linked to a large, $103 million haul of cocaine and all that fun stuff.
$103 million.
He had the phone number.
See? But if he didn't get caught, he was going to get caught either way. Like, let's say he wasn't a drug dealer, he would have still got caught because that phone number is cursed.
It's cursed.
It would have been like he sold a home to this, like, mass murderer that he didn't know. It would have been something.
Spooky.
I'm telling you, you can't run from that shit.
You can't run from the curse. I don't know if I believe this one's a curse. I think it's just a bunch of weird shit that happened and they all happen to have the same phone number. I think in a lot of cases, some weird shit like that.
Like
if you look hard
it's
enough.
Coincidental.
Yeah, if you look hard enough, like, because they don't really talk. They don't say if anybody had that phone number in between these people and nothing happened to them. I don't know. These could be the only 3 people who had it, because after that, the company wasn't selling the phone number because they kept track of who had it and like what happened to the person.
I want the spooky phone number.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that. And since the CEO of the company died from it first, they were like, well, that's weird and probably really bad luck, and it's not doing good for our business, so let's nip it in the ass.
I love that expression.
Nip it in the ass?
Yeah, it's bud.
No, it's nip it in the butt.
It's bud.
What bud?
It's like a flower.
Why are you nipping it in the bud?
Because it's like, so when you nip a flower in the bud, it dies.
Oh, I thought the whole time it was like nip it in the butt. Like, I'm going to take scissors and shank you in the ass.
You're the worst.
I'm the best.
Nip it in the butt.
Is it really not that?
No, it's the bud.
Oh, well, I like it. Nip it in the ass.
That's fine. You could just say like...
guys, we're changing it.
Right off the back.
Right off the back, we're going to match these things and
Nip it in the butt.
nip it in the butt. And no one will be the wiser.
So that brings me to my fun fact.
Oh, okay.
So that inspired me to accumulate all the things that people say wrong. So this great minds think alike, it's actually great minds think alike and fools seldom differ. Also, be the change you wish you see in the world. It is, as a man changes his own nature, so does the attitude of the world changes towards him. We need not wait to see what others do.
Why do I feel like you're just reading the inspirational quotes, but you're really pissed about it?
I'm pissed about it
Just
because, like, who shortened these? Money is the root of all evil. It's actually, the love of money is the root of all sorts of evil.
Because nobody has time for that shit. Just
Rome-
get to the point, bruh. You know what? Back then, whenever that shit started, people had the time. They were like, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to do my 9 to 5. Or, you know what? I'm going to go out there in the cornfield
9
and
to
I'm going
5,
to
stay
shuck some
alive.
corn and all that shit. And I'm going to come home. I don't have a TV to watch, so I'm going to say these sayings and I'm going to say them long. Nowadays, I'm checking my emojis. I'm playing Song Pop. I'm playing Trivia Crack. And I ain't got time to be saying all that
Trivia
shit. So I'm going to nip it in the butt.
I hate it.
I'm just going to, cut it short.
Rome wasn't built in a day, but it burned in one.
Whoa. That
Yeah,
is
that was,
dark.
right.
That one's dark.
Do you ever hear there's a sucker born every minute?
Well, there's tons of suckers born every minute.
I'm saying. Well-behaved women rarely make history. So, it's a well-known fact these days that Marilyn Monroe wasn't as dumb as she came off.
Who said she was dumb?
Everyone says that.
Oh my god, no, she was not dumb.
I know. Well, I know that, and you know that.
I,
Now everyone else should know that and stop saying it. Stop spreading rumors.
unless it's on the internet, then it's true. Just state your sources.
It's actually a quote from Laurel Thatcher Ulrich, who teaches on women's and American history at Harvard. No rest for the wicked is actually, there is no peace, saint, my God, to the wicked. Blood is thicker than water is actually the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb.
Wait, I read this thing on Tumblr a long time ago. It was like, blood may be thicker than water, but pancake syrup is thicker than all of them. So pancakes over family.
Ooh, wow, that's that's all I got for that.
Wow, that's inspiring. I feel inspired. I want to go out in the world and just
tell
nip it in the
everyone-
butt.
Yeah, haha. Stop saying that. People will think you're dumb.
I don't care what people think.
I don't care what people think. Well, what about me?
Do you think I'm dumb?
No, just sound, when you say that, it's like, what is it? It was, I can't say it not right. It wasn't Mitch, it was Mitch Match.
Mitch matched.
She said my Mitch Match bathing suit.
All right.
I was RIP'd.
And on a lighter note, my fun fact is that smearing a small amount of dog shit on a bug
I
bite
love it.
will relieve the itching and swelling.
Stop. Don't, why would you tell
Why
anyone
would you,
that?
why would you do that? Who?
Someone probably had a really bad bug bite and then rolled in some dog shit and then it cured everything. So now I'm going to go home. I hope it works with cat shit because that's all I got.
Well, it only said dog shit, so I can't.
I'll literally test that out too. JK, I'm not doing that.
I just picture it like a tube of lipstick and you just rub it on your arm and
Like,
it's just like shit.
Like Vaseline.
Ugh. Jesus.
Yikes, okay. Okay. That was a really bad picture.
So we're going to end it on that great note of dog shit being rubbed on your bug bites.
I love it.
If you guys decide to do it, go ahead and tag us in your picture on Instagram.
You have to. If you didn't take a picture of it and post it on social media, did you actually do it?
Oh my God, shut up. No one cares what you had for lunch, Karen. I know you're listening to this. So stop posting that shit on Instagram. Well, thank you guys so much for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Really quick, can you please, if you're listening to us on iTunes, go ahead and leave us a rating. We're not doing it for our own narcissistic purposes. It actually helps us on a business side. I know I've talked about the algorithm before, so it's this whole thing with iTunes. So if you could, please just go ahead and leave us a review. S'il vous plaît, por favor, merci beaucoup.
Ooh, s'il vous plaît.
And we would like to thank our patron, Veronica. Hey,
Thanks,
girl.
Veronica.
And if you would like a shout out on our episodes, and if you want to help us out, you can go to patreon.com/esoteric oddities, because this is free content, but free content is not always free. It does take us hours. You know, a lot of research.
We work full-time jobs. Help us.
Yeah, we don't live close to each other, so we do travel. And all that fun stuff. So go ahead and check it out. You can get a bunch of fun stuff. You get free access, sneak peeks to episodes before anybody else. If you sign up, even $1. It doesn't sound like much, but it definitely helps us out in the long run. Yeah, check us out on social media. You know the Instagram, you know the Twitter, and our email is odditiespodcast@gmail.com.
Bye, guys. Have a great day, night.
Everything. Have a great life.
Have a great week, month, year. I literally wish you the best. Ever.
She sounds passive.
I usually always sound passive.
Passive aggressive because she is.
I can't help but be sarcastic.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Wear your seatbelts. Bye.